Sometimes nothing seems better than grief. In the Neverending Story, 1984, the first thing we learn about Bastian is that his mother's died and he's trying to escape. From his father, from his school, and from the real world that has erased her. So he disappears into a story, but finds a world that's already ending. Fantasia isn't a magical kingdom under threat from a villain. It's a crumbling place full of tired creatures, bad news, and the slow seep of despair. The threat isn't conquest, it's erasure, and the grief and despair hits early. Artax's death is the moment we often remember as the emotional breaking point. But it's only the beginning. It's a child's first lesson in helplessness, that love isn't always enough to pull someone through. And the swamp of sadness lets you watch it happen, slowly and quietly, without a last-minute reprieve. What Bastian painfully learns is that he can't go back to before his mother died. He can't even go back to who he was when he first opened the book. So he's forced to experience the agony of grief, of having to push forward and carry on. Whilst yearning for the path back, he watches Fantasia disappear through Atrayu's eyes, as its inhabitants fall before the nothing. The Rockbitter's final words teach him, there was nothing anyone could have done to prevent the inevitable. I couldn't hold on to them. The nothing pulled them right out of my hands. I failed. His sorrow isn't theatrical, it's flat and exhausted. It's the grief of someone who thought strength could protect the people he loved but learned otherwise. When the world finally breaks, it takes even Atrayu with it, and leaves Bastian alone in the dark, with a ghostly empress and a grain of sand. It's the last piece of a story he has to carry, a memory for him to protect. Because that's all grief leaves you with, a memory that gives you just enough space to hold an image or a feeling, enough to revisit when it hurts too much, enough to say their name and make it the spell that conjures them up, if only for a moment, and as much as we wish it could. Fantasia doesn't return, not really. It's not the same world. Bastian sees Atrayu again. He sees the Rockbitter, the Snail Rider, even Morla, but they don't speak. There's no reunion, no new words, no new adventures. It's like visiting a memory trapped in amber, vivid, familiar but ultimately untouchable. Even the final jubilant scene where Falker and Bastian scare the bullies in the real world, that's taken away from us too. As the credits roll, an unfamiliar narrator tells us Bastian had more adventures before returning to the real world, and the bubble suddenly pops. It was never real. But maybe that's the point. It might be a fantasy, but Bastian doesn't stay lost inside it. It's not an escape, it's resolve. He can't bring Fantasia back, but he can bring the courage he found there into the real world. So he faces what scares him and keeps going. And we, as children, suffered and hurt with him. But we also watched him return changed, stronger. Ultimately, the Neverending Story isn't a fairy tale. It's the story of how you survive without the person you love, and how you learn to hold the idea of them with you, while you carry on for the ones who still need you. Because you know that one day, they'll have to continue on without you. Day by day, step by step, we all move forward living our own tiny part of a never-ending story. Mom, pain is better than emptiness. Emptiness is better than nothing. And nothing is better than this.